For most of my life, it felt like my own mind was a prison. Seriously. The bars were made of what-ifs, the walls were built from worst-case scenarios, and the warden? That was my own relentless self-doubt. I was totally locked in a cycle of overthinking that seeped into every part of my life, and I just couldn't find the key. I spent countless hours meditating, just focusing on my breath like all the experts tell you to do. I stood in front of the mirror, repeating affirmations until the words just felt hollow. But nothing really worked. Why? Because I wasn't just dealing with a few negative thoughts. I was trapped in a system. It was like my brain was running a program on a loop, a feedback loop from hell that was designed to self-destruct. The problem wasn't the thoughts themselves. The problem was the frame I was seeing them through. And once I figured out how to change that frame, everything changed. Overthinking can feel like being trapped in a mental prison. If you're an overthinker, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like having a committee meeting in your head, where every single member is your harshest critic. For me, it started small. I'd replay a simple conversation from work over and over, picking apart every word I said and convincing myself I sounded like an idiot. But it didn't take long for that to bleed into the big stuff. Making a decision on a decision became paralyzing. Choosing a restaurant, figuring out my career, even deciding what to write in a text message, it all sent me down a spiral of analysis paralysis. My brain was like a GPS that could map out 100 different routes, but it would only shine a spotlight on the ones that ended in a fiery crash. It was exhausting. I was living in a constant state of low-grade anxiety, this hum of dread that buzzed just under the surface of everything. I felt completely stuck, and I was pretty much convinced that this was just how my brain was wired. So, I did what we all do. I turned to Google. I learned about mindfulness and really dedicated myself to it. I'd sit there quietly, focusing on my breath, and just watch my thoughts drift by like clouds in the sky. And yeah, it brought me moments of peace, for sure. But the second I stood up, the storm of overthinking would come roaring back. The practice taught me how to observe the clouds, but it never taught me how to stop seeding them in the first place. Next up, affirmations. I plastered my apartment with sticky notes. I am confident. I am capable. I am resilient. I repeated them every day, hoping I could somehow overwrite the negative code running in my head. But it felt like shouting motivational slogans at a hurricane. The affirmations were a paper-thin layer of positivity over this deep, churning well of self-doubt. They felt like a lie because deep down, I didn't believe them. It was like slapping a smiley face sticker on a cracked foundation. I was treating the symptom, not the disease. The turning point, my breakthrough, didn't come during a moment of zen-like calm. It came during a moment of pure frustration. I was spiraling after getting some constructive feedback at work. My automatic thought wasn't just, okay, I made a mistake. Nope, it was, I am a complete failure, and now everyone knows it. It was a classic cognitive distortion, something called catastrophizing, where you turn a small leak into a full-blown flood. And in that moment, I realized why mindfulness and affirmations weren't working for me. They weren't designed to dismantle that kind of twisted logic. It couldn't challenge the core belief that was causing all the pain. I didn't need to ignore the thought or shout over it with a positive one. I needed to interrogate it. I needed to put it on trial. That's when I stumbled upon cognitive reframing. It's a powerful technique that's the backbone of cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. The whole idea is surprisingly simple. It's not the events in our lives that cause our suffering. It's our interpretation, our frame of those events. And my frame was totally warped. I was looking at my life through a lens smudged with fear and inadequacy. Cognitive reframing gave me a way to build a new lens. It wasn't about ignoring reality or pretending everything was perfect. It was about cleaning the smudges off the glass so I could see the whole picture, not just the negative little corner I'd been obsessed with. It was the tool I needed to go from being a prisoner of my thoughts to becoming the architect of my own mind. This is it. This is the process that broke the cycle for me. It's a simple, 3-step method to catch a negative thought, challenge it, and change it into something that's actually useful. I call it the catch it, check it, change it method. Let's talk about the step 1, catch it. The moment you realize. The first step is just to notice the thought without judging it. As overthinkers, we live so deep inside our heads that these negative thought loops are like a car alarm that's been blaring for so long we don't even hear it anymore. The goal here is to pull them into the foreground. At first, I started a thought log in my phone. Anytime I felt that familiar wave of anxiety, I'd pause and write down the exact thought that set it off. For example, I get invited to a party, and my immediate thought is, ugh, I shouldn't go. I'll just be awkward and have nothing interesting to say. In the past, I would have just accepted that as a fact, but now my first job was just to catch it. I'd write it down. I thought I will be awkward and have nothing to say. That's it. This simple act creates space. It's like leaping out of a runaway thought train. Suddenly, you're not on the train anymore. You're on the platform, watching it go by. That space is your power. Jumping on to the step 2, reality check. Let's test it. This is where you put on your detective hat. You have to investigate the thought you just caught and see if it holds up in court. Is it really 100% true? You have to challenge it with cold, hard evidence, like a lawyer cross-examining a hostile witness. I started asking myself a few key questions. What's the actual evidence for this thought? My mind would immediately go, well, remember that one time 5 years ago when you said that weird thing at that party? What's the evidence against this thought? And I'd have to be honest. Well, I've been to dozens of parties where I had perfectly normal, even fun conversations. Just last week at lunch, I made my coworkers laugh. Am I thinking in black and white terms here? I realize saying I will be awkward is an absolute. It's like saying the world is only black or white when it's actually a billion shades of gray. A more realistic view is that I might have some quiet moments and also some moments of connection. So what is the most likely outcome, really? Realistically, the most likely outcome wasn't that I'd stand in a corner talking to a plant. It was that I'd probably talk to a few people, have some pleasant chats, and maybe feel a little shy sometimes, which is completely normal. By checking the thought against reality, I realized my automatic negative thoughts were just bullies. They were loud, scary, and full of distortions, but they weren't based on facts. Now moving on to the last step. Change it. The reframe. And the final step is to create a new, reframed thought. And this is important. This is not an affirmation. You're not jumping from "I'm a total failure" to "I'm the greatest success in human history." That leap is too big. Your brain knows you're faking it. The goal is to build a bridge to a new statement that is balanced, kind, and most importantly, believable. So for my party example, the original thought was, I shouldn't go. I'll be awkward and have nothing interesting to say. After checking it, I'd change it to a reframed thought like this. I'm feeling nervous about this party, and that's okay. I know I can get self-conscious sometimes, but I also know I'm capable of having good conversations. I'll go with the goal of just connecting with 1 or 2 people, and it's totally fine if I just listen for a bit too. Can you feel the difference? The first thought is a dead end. It's a locked door. The reframed thought is an open door. It acknowledges the fear but doesn't buy into the catastrophe. It turns a fear into a plan. This is how you change the frame. Life after the mind hack. What comes next? Look, learning this process wasn't an overnight fix, but it was a seismic shift. It was like someone finally handed me the user manual for my own brain. That constant hum of anxiety started to fade. It was like slowly turning down the volume on a radio playing nothing but static. Making decisions got easier because I could finally untangle the legitimate concerns from the baseless fears. The old me was constantly second-guessing and retreating. The new me, well, I still hear the whispers of self-doubt. I don't think they'll ever go away completely, but the difference is I don't automatically believe them anymore. I don't let them in the driver's seat. The process that once felt clunky, like learning to ride a bike with lots of wobbling and falling, is now almost second nature. When a negative thought pops up, my brain has a new habit of automatically checking it. My relationship with myself has completely transformed. I've learned to be more compassionate, to see my mistakes not as proof that I'm a failure, but as opportunities to grow. The prison door is open. I'm no longer trapped by my own mind, because I finally understand that I have the power to challenge it, to question it, and ultimately to change it. So here's my challenge to you. You don't have to keep living inside that prison of overthinking. You have the key. For the next 24 hours, just try the first step. Just try to catch one automatic negative thought. Write it down on your phone or a piece of paper. See what it feels like to just look at it without judgment. I would genuinely love to know what you discover. Leave a comment below and share the thought you caught. Or, if you've tried this before, share a powerful reframe that worked for you. You never know, your experience could be the exact thing someone else needs to read today. And if this resonated with you and you want more practical ways to master your mind for a life with less anxiety and more intention, make sure to subscribe. Wrapping things up, it's time to share your thoughts and feelings on this. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who decides which ones to believe. The stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of are incredibly powerful, but they are also editable. You are the author. So start by catching the thought, checking its facts, and then changing the story. One thought at a time, you can build a mind that sets you free.